All right, welcome back, Truth Seeker. Got some headlines breaking today. Gavin Newsom going against what he initially said about nuclear energy. Today he says he's rethinking shutting down the Diablo Canyon nuclear site, and this comes 201 days after his birthday. If you missed what I just covered about Mr. Gates, or maybe we should just start calling him Mr. Microsoft, because it seems like you can't talk about him these days. They take down everything. But if you missed the video that got taken down a few weeks ago, with Bill Gates and what he said in 2010 at his TED Talk about the future of nuclear energy and how it could save us from climate change. We'll see how this all comes together. Also in the news, Trump has posted for the first time since it launched on his Truth social network. We'll see why he posted 47 days before his birthday. A lot of you already know the answer. And we're also going to talk about how the 7th largest city in Italy has decided to roll out a social credit score system. Again, China already has this. Italy's saying ours is different, though, because there's nothing bad that can happen to you. Only positive perks if you sign up for our voluntary social credit system. And again, it's obvious what the ploy is here, which we'll talk more about. And then today, the Dow and NASDAQ really tanked, led by Amazon, who had a historic collapse. They had a big collapse yesterday. Their stock fell by 10% yesterday. Today, it fell by 15%. So just in the last 48 hours, it lost a quarter of its value. And it could go down further. But again, it's obvious what it is. The collapse began on the 118th day of the year. The CEO's name equals 118. Again, it's that sell high, buy low thing, and this is how the rich stay rich. Most people use the stock market as a way to slowly increase the value of their earnings for retirement. That's what the stock market is for most Americans, but for the billionaire ruling class, it's also a great way to just reach in and manipulate the populace. Sell off a huge amount of your shares, sell high, let it collapse, let some people in the market panic and also sell after they've already lost, and then come back in and buy low. And again, this is the game with the market. When you know the numbers, you see why the rituals happen the way they do. Again, it's not an accident that it started on the 118th day of the year, and that's the Gematria, the CEO's name. This is what we witness time and time again, rituals just like that. When these companies have these, massive collapses and gains, it's all ritual. And not to mention, like I said earlier, Amazon is on the verge of doing a 20-for-1 stock split, which essentially means, before their share price was $3,000 a share, when it goes 20-for-1, it makes each share worth $150, but you have 20 times as more if you're already an owner, which makes it more feasible, or it's like a psychological thing. People would rather buy in and get 20 shares with a $3,000 investment than get one share. So usually stocks go up, and I think that's what they're doing. They're just positioning right now. They're bringing the stock price way down. They'll buy in before it goes up even higher, and they'll make even more money. And again, just all the reasons for the market being down. Ukraine, all the printing of money because of COVID, all the other things that are all purposeful manipulations of the world and the market. Everything that's being done is a purposeful manipulation. And, Jeff Bezos, his net wealth has gone way down in the last 48 hours, but don't forget it went way up even more in the time of the pandemic because of all the shenanigans. And honestly, Jeff Bezos and all these guys probably knew to sell high, and they'll probably be buying low and getting even richer as time goes on. But anyway, I want to start right here with Gavin Newsom, why he's rethinking shutting down the Diablo Canyon nuclear site 201 days from his birthday. And so again, let's go through this piece by piece. If you're new here, this might all seem new and foreign to you, but if you learn it and just pay attention, you'll see it goes on day after day. So 201 is a very specific number to the Jesuits. Again, Gavin Newsom's Jesuit-educated, University of Santa Clara. The Jesuit history says they were saved by Catherine the Great, who preserved the order with 201 Jesuit priests. The first Jesuit pope, Pope Francis, is the first to live in Suite 201. His birth name, Jorge Mario Bergoglio, equals 201, like Ignatius Loyola equals 201. The founder of the Jesuits, like the Jesuit order, equals 201. And for the record, William Henry Gates, who was recently married until his recent divorce to a woman from a family of Jesuit priests who has the same birthday as the Jesuit order, Bill Gates, his full name, William Henry Gates equals 201. And don't forget, he's one of the main co-sponsors of Event 201, the coronavirus pandemic simulation. But the thing is, Bill Gates at his 2010 TED Talk, and just think how the number 201 is in the year 2010, 2010, at his 2010 TED Talk, again, which I say if you've never seen it before, you should watch all 30 minutes of it. It's about climate change. It's about how we're going to save the earth, how we need to reduce population, how we can do it if we do a good job with jabs. And by the end of it, he gets to how nuclear energy and using spent nuclear energy fuel is the ticket to getting to zero emissions. And he says, the best place in the world to secure these spent nuclear energy fuel is in Russia and Ukraine, if you can believe it. Which should make sense, right? Because that's the other big nuclear energy empire, just like the U.S. But anyhow, Bill Gates has a new documentary coming out. It's a follow-up to his 2010 TED Talk. It's called Solving for Zero, which also equals 201. And again, nuclear energy is a big part of it. Now here's Gavin Newsom in the same Jesuit family, 201 days after his birthday, saying, well, maybe we're not going to shut down this site because this actually could be the key to fighting climate change. And if you don't know, the Agenda 21 goals, which were signed off in 92, which is an interesting year that they signed off on them in 92, because the atomic number for 92 is uranium, which is the fuel for nuclear energy plants. So uranium, 92. The Agenda 21 goals signed off in 92 on June 13th, the day leaving 201 days left in the year. Kind of like how Event 201 was the coronavirus pandemic simulation. And again, Bill Gates, in his 2010 TED Talk, he said we need to get the entire world vaccinated, and if we do a good job with vaccines, it could really help lower the population number. Again, it comes right out of his mouth. It just sucks that you can't even quote the guy. You can't even show the clip of him saying it, because they'll take down your video. And already this video is at risk of being taken down and given a strike for medical misinformation, even though all I'm doing is restating a fact, which I'm going to continue to restate and get channels taken down because it needs to be said. He clearly said exactly that. We need to reduce population, and we can do it if we do a good job with the jabs. But anyway, with regards to Rio de Janeiro, where they signed off on Agenda 21 on the day leaving 201 days left in the year, just with regards to the jab, I want you to see what they put on Jesus, the big Jesus statue. They put up vaccine saves, and that equals 201, just like Rio de Janeiro, where the statue is, which is where they signed off for Agenda 21. And again, the Jesuit order is 201, the Holy Bible is 201, the first pandemic simulation 666 days before the pandemic was declared. And if you think all this is a coincidence, even the man who carved the statue there, Christ the Redeemer statue, even his name, the sculptor is 201, all these years later, vaccine saves, 201. But again, I'm just trying to show you how this whole gang has all this planned out for us, and just how clever the whole plan is, and how it's all encoded in the same number. So again, June 13th, 92, Rio de Janeiro, that's where they all signed off on the Agenda 21 goals for how to curb, carbon emissions. And again, it's making more and more sense as nuclear becomes the thing, because again, 92 is the number that connects with uranium, which is the nuclear energy fuel. And think about how as soon as Russia-Ukraine popped off, right away the story was that Russia took over the nuclear energy sites, and the military conflict started in the Donbass region, which equals 201. And let's not forget that Biden and Putin met for 2 hours and 1 minute, 201 days after the Ignatian year began. and now Putin's been invited to the G20 201 days before it begins. And just 201 days after his birthday, he shut off gas to Bulgaria and Poland. And again, it's just all over the world. You can just follow the 201s and see who's really behind the ritual. Has everything to do with energy and climate change. But also noteworthy, today's the 119th day of the year, and he's focused on Diablo, right? 119. And remember who else has the 119? Vatican. That's who the Jesuits serve. Francis, the first Jesuit Pope, Francis, Suite 201. The Jesuits credited in Paris, France, the first Jesuit Pope, Francis. So, moving on down the list, what else is interesting is it's the 29th of the month, right? It's April 29th. Nuclear is 29. And there's actually a few things that are interesting. Notice how Diablo also has... Or shoot. Oh, yeah. Diablo has the Gematria 43. Nuclear's 43. Remember the Hanford site, the first nuclear energy site, was created in 43. And it was created on the 68th day of the year, where nuclear energy is 68 and nuclear weapons 68. We predicted there'd be a big nuclear story in Russia, Ukraine on the 68th day of the year, which was true. That was the 79-year anniversary of the Hanford site being created, and Ukraine's also 79. But anyway, just you see how Diablo has the 43 in it. Again, the 119. Nuclear has the 4329. You see the 115 as well. If you write out Diablo Canyon, the full title, it's also 115. So it's obvious why they've picked this site for this symbolic nuclear story. And again, from Newsom's October 10th birthday to today, 201 days later, it's owned by Pacific Gas and Electric, which equals 129, which is 201 in base 8 counting. So this was Gavin Newsom going against his campaign pledge to shut down every nuclear site in California. And it's easy to understand why today comes the reversal on the thought, especially in light of the fact that Bill Gates' film's about to launch about how nuclear energy is the path forwards, using spent nuclear energy fuel. And I tell you to go watch the video I just did on this, but again, it was taken down. So what you can watch is Bill Gates' 2010 TED Talk, Innovating to Zero, and you'll see exactly what he has to say about how spent nuclear energy fuel is the saving grace for the future going forward. But again, it is the Jesuits who are the Society of Jesus behind every last ritual we're living out, and they love coding their 201s day after day as they shape the world around us. And again, just as a reminder, because we're getting close, the hip-hop group out of Atlanta, Outkast, they have the song titled Millennium, and it opens with the verse, unstable like Chernobyl, and then it has the chorus about planets and stars, Earth, Jupiter, Mars. And then what I noticed was wild sometime back in February, is that Andre 3000 from that group, who, talks about Chernobyl in the song, from the day that the headline broke about the 92 hostages being held captive by Russia at Chernobyl, from that day to his birthday is 92 days. 92 days. And again, 92, the number of uranium, which is nuclear energy fuel. And again, Andre 3000, he has a successful music career. He has a successful acting career. And we know how a lot of these celebrities over the years, it seemed like they were given a nod or a little push to insert something in their work that actually ended up being predictive programming for part of the New World Order plan going forward. And the wild thing about the chorus on this song with the Earth, Jupiter, Mars is that those things are going to be in conjunction the day after Andre 3000 turns 47 years old. And again, Ukraine's 47 times 47. This whole thing in Ukraine popped off exactly 47 weeks after Klaus Schwab's birthday, Mr. Event 201, Mr. Great Reset, as Ukraine becomes the first nation to put so many of the Great Reset protocols in place. But the day after his 47th birthday, you have this conjunction with Earth, Jupiter, and Mars. And so we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. But yeah, very interesting. And looking back at that, it seems beyond coincidental. Also, in the news, Trump again. His Truth Social. Maybe you guys signed up for Truth Social. I did out of curiosity, and it said like I was place number 4 million and something in the queue. Well, today, the 119th day of the year, I got an email from Truth Social that my account is active and ready to go, and I can join the site if I just download the latest app. So anyway, I started to look to see if if a bunch of people got the notification today, and notice this is in the news today. Trump posts on Truth Social days after Twitter takeover. I'm back. And this is in the news today, the 119th day of the year, but he actually posted yesterday, Thursday, the 118th day, which is quite interesting because from the day he posted to his upcoming 76th birthday is 47 days. And what's Truth Social equal in the most pure cipher? 47. And what number have we talked about Donald Trump, or what number have we talked about with Donald Trump a million times? Of course, 47. And in Gematria, Trump's 47, president, White House authority, government, Republican, Democrat, DC, all of those things equal 47 in the base ciphers. Remember, Trump was in the 47-story Midtown Hilton Hotel the night of the rigged selection back in 2016 that he won. And again, his quote on the campaign trails, he lost to Biden. I've done more in 47 months than Biden's done in 47 years. And again, you can see all the 47s. President, White House, government, authority, Republican, Whig, Democrat, DC, Trump. And now Truth Social. And don't forget the cornerstone was laid in D.C. on the 47 date numerology. But it just goes to show, I mean, these people, they are puppets. This isn't his social media platform. He's just, the puppet face of it, in the same way Facebook isn't Mark Zuckerberg's, and Microsoft isn't Bill Gates's, and Amazon's not Jeff Bezos, and et cetera, and Elon Musk isn't who you think he is. All of these people are puppets playing the part. The Jesuits are pretty much the fascist enterprise that controls all of it. The technology, the big tech, the news, your government. They're the network that stands behind the puppets that parades around people like Donald Trump. And again, here's my email, April 29th. Funny that he sent it at 2:12 p.m. because that's kind of like the date it launched, 21/2. And in light of getting this on the 119th day of the year, I can't help but think of, this Serta commercial from years before he became president, talking about how they'll never count sheep again, talking to sheep on pillars 11 and 9. The election was called for him November 9th. Donald in Jewish Gematria is 119. And don't forget, the president in House of Cards, Trump card, tarot cards, Francis is 119. Underwood's 119. Francis Underwood. Donald Trump ends up winning the election in the time of the popular hit show House of Cards about the presidency. And by the way, just with regards to Trump and tarot cards is another 119. A lot of people have done a lot of work on the hangman card and the man falling from the tower, at least as we saw it in the media on 9/11. But yeah, I don't think it's an accident. I imagine millions of people got the same email I got today that now you can sign up, just download the app on the 119th day of the year. And remember, Trump's the same guy who said he's thankful for stupid people. So it is kind of interesting, though, that him and the two heroes of the world in the minds of the people who think they're awake but are totally asleep, Elon Musk and Donald Trump. Musk just got Twitter. Now Trump's Truth Social's ready to go. It's just like, come on. Come on. And speaking of Musk, he uses the Nikola Tesla brand, which is another 119. So, and again, Tesla is the one that connects Trump and Musk, right? Because Trump's uncle supposedly, was working for the feds and went over Nikola Tesla's apartment or hotel room or whatever it was when he died. Okay, and then with regards to social media, and, we just talked about this morning how Elon Musk wants to authenticate every human on the Twitter platform, which will be perfect for the coming social credit score system. Italy's seventh largest city, has announced that they are rolling out their social credit system. And notice the news, the earliest news story I could find on this was from April 24th. April 24th, the 114th day of the year, social credit system 114. Seems like a number of people published it on April 27th, just days after. But again, if you read about it, they say, it's not going to be like China. It's going to be voluntary. And if you participate and do good, sounds like doing good's like recycling and minimizing water use and this type of thing, you will be rewarded. And that, I can see why this will be enticing to a lot of people. In a way, I'm kind of one of these people that they're trying to appeal to, because I've always tried to be this way. Like, I used to drive my roommates nuts because I would be like, why are you guys wasting electricity? Turn the lights off if you're not in the room. Why are you guys leaving the water running? Come on, man. I've always wanted to, like, conserve energy, conserve water, because not so much to save on the bill, because it hardly saves anything, honestly, but just because it just seems like the right thing to do. Why be wasteful? I'm not a gluttonous person in any way. If you serve me a plate of food and I don't like it at all, I'm still going to eat every bite. That's who I am. So, I see that they're going to try to appeal to people like that and say, like, if you do a good job, if you minimize your carbon footprint, or however they're going to put it, we'll give you these incentives. But it's so obvious what a ploy this is. Just wait until eventually it's not voluntary. They've tested out the system on the volunteers, and now it's not just you get rewarded, now you start getting punished. That's what's going to happen in time. China's laying out the blueprint. China's controlled by the same Jesuits that control Europe and the United States of America and pretty much the whole world. And again, they got to introduce things to different populations based on what the culture is there. Chinese people, again, that culture, what are they used to? They're used to just towing the line and going along with authority. They know it's all bullshit, but they're just used to towing the line. And is it much different in America? It seems like most people are just, they know it's all bullshit too, but they'll just toe the line anyway, just the same. So, anyhow, Italy, you can't get more Jesuit than Italy. And the thing that I noticed that's funny about this town, well, there's a few things that are funny. Bologna, Italy, it has Gematria 191 like Society of Jesus. Social credit score also equals 79 like Society of Jesus. And in the base cipher, Society of Jesus also 56. So is social credits what you get for good behavior with your smart citizen wallet. And there's probably a lot more to decode here. But again, it's not even so much about decoding. It's just about understanding that this is what time it is. This is where they're taking us. If you haven't read my last book, Number Games 9/11 to Coronavirus, I said how these things are being used to build the surveillance state and how this is where we're being taken to, these social credit systems. It's been obvious for a long time. But what I noticed about this town is it's only, Bologna, Italy is only 54 square miles too, and I thought, how funny that it's 54 square miles. About the most pure Jesuit order number there is. Again, they live, Cable 54, the enemy of the world. But 54 square mile Bologna. They're bringing the smart citizen wallet that's voluntary, that only good things can happen for you. Yeah. And again, it goes right along with this one too. And Donald Trump is the hero, and so is Elon Musk. You know what I mean? Also on the 119th day of the year, financial things are taking a big old crash. And remember, the all-seeing eye on the dollar bill, all-seeing eye has that Gematria of 119 and 56, NASDAQ 56, 14-year low this month. Worst month in 14 years for the NASDAQ. And the thing about NASDAQ is, what month are we in? We're also in, the month that was so bad is April. Let's see, is there other overlap with NASDAQ in April? With the alphabetic order and with the reverse alphabetic order in numerology, they got the overlap. But yeah, just creating more stress on people. People are stressed out. All the negative reports, all the doom and gloom, all the baby boomers right now that rely on the stock market for their retirement. The last 2 years has probably sent a lot of them to an early grave with the stress, with the huge collapse of the market at the beginning, and then it shot up to new record highs, and now it's coming back down again, and just all the different stress that they're putting on society. Rumors of World War III, all the people that are complying with all the things because they want to maintain their sense of normalcy and having a job and being able to go in a restaurant and a mall. But they don't really want to do this, but they're doing it because everyone else is for the most part, and they want to fit in. It's just like, again, you guys, I gotta throw the bone out there for the Christians. Sometimes I wonder if like we were really a strong Christian society and people were actually like about what Jesus said, um, if they'd be getting away with what they're getting away with, because people would be all over it, right? They would be like, this is a lot like Revelation and accepting the mark to buy or sell. And again, I was raised, my mom was pretty religious growing up. She's kind of thrown it all out the window now too, but I was familiar with all these stories growing up, so there is a benefit to knowing them, but ultimately all things good and bad. In the time I was growing up, it seemed like religion was doing more bad than good, but there is a part of me that's like, man, if everybody was Christian, they might not fall for the agenda. They might not go along with it. But then again, I mean, you look at the people who are going to church, right? They're muzzled up. They are vaccinated, so it's like, well, maybe not. But then again, like I've always said, most of the people who go to church are completely fake. They don't even read the Bible. All they do is just go there because their mom and dad also went there and their neighbors go there. It's just, but then also more and more, less and, it's just like, I was just in the Bible Belt, and this Easter Sunday, I didn't even see like anybody going in and out of the churches. I was just like, this is the Bible Belt and it's dead down here. There's churches all over this town. We finally found a church that did have something going on. It was called Frontline, and I got to admit the minister was pretty interesting. But, yeah, it's just, I don't know, man. It's just, the problem is, it's just, more than religion, it's just like, if we had a society that was about being informed, I mean, it's just like, I don't even know what to say. It's, we supposedly live in this nation where it's supposed to be all about the First Amendment and, free speech and nobody really values any of these things. Nobody even seems to care about anything that our society was supposed to be modeled on. It's just, well, what do people ultimately care about if you boil it down? That they're entertained, that they're fed, that they're warm and clothed, that they have a job. But as you see, it's got to be about more than that. It's got to be about more than that. But that's where people are at, so. And shout out to Lee in Tennessee. He just posted this. I never even thought about Elon Musk's mother. But here's some recent photos from Elon Musk's mother. And I couldn't help but notice Lee in Tennessee was just down with us for the April 19th event in Oklahoma City. And would you believe it? Elon Musk's mother just turned 74 years old on April 19th. So shout out to Lee in Tennessee. And also Sean in Tennessee. We had 2 men out from Tennessee. But, yeah, I'm going to have to look more into his mom because clearly he's part of the club and looks like his entryway might have been through mama. So, and the whole nuclear thing, it just makes me wonder, like, it's just weird. It's like, what are they doing with this nuclear thing? Because since they signed off on Agenda 21, there's been a major push against nuclear. Like, so many places have shut down their nuclear energy plants. Oregon demolished theirs that was close to Portland. But now to bring it back, and again, Bill Gates did say it's more about the spent nuclear energy fuel. So it's like a new phase. It's a new level of technology that allows them to do something new that they couldn't do before. But, yeah, I guess it's just kind of the way they operate, just always keeping society off balance. It's this today, it's that tomorrow, it's back to this. Wait a minute, it's that again. It's just, I guess that's just how they do society, but it is funny that they push so hard against nuclear, and now it seems like it's about to come back with a vengeance. And it's funny to think that, again, that they signed off on this in 92, and now we're just seeing it in real time. Go back and watch Bill Gates' 2010 TED Talk if you haven't watched it already. I did show it the other day, and I essentially got my video taken down for showing his 2010 TED Talk and then pointing out a few things that have happened since then. Hold on. Because when they took down the video, I laughed because I was like, wait a minute. I've never been taken down for these reasons before. I got to find this. Hold on. Give me a minute here to scroll through some posts. Can't be too far back. Is this the one? No, that's not the one. Unless I forgot to put it on here. Hold on. I wouldn't have thought it was this many posts back. I might have forgot to put it on here. That's too bad. Yeah, it definitely. Man, I forgot to put it on here. They gave me the longest reason for taking down the video that I had never seen before. I can't believe I forgot to post it. But yeah, it's annoying that it's so hard to say what needs to be said, and that there's so much censorship, and that, literally, I'm one of the only people in the world that's been dead on point for throughout the whole pandemic with the accurate predictions and where this is all heading to, and then to be taken down so many times for medical misinformation. And again, if you guys have not read my books, I have made the ebooks free to download. Just search my name, Zachary K. Hubbard, then write subscribe star, and it'll take you to a page, and then you'll see there's 2 links there. You can download number games, and you can also download letters and numbers. But the argument I make in the book is that these agendas are to build the surveillance state. And they are. So, somebody, or actually a number of people have complained that I haven't put up a video on Patreon for a little bit. And again, that's because a lot of this month I was traveling and out doing the April 19th thing. But again, for all of you who do support the Patreon, again, thank you very much. Again, you guys have made it possible for me to keep doing the work, and, understand that even if I don't put anything on the Patreon, I'm still putting out a ton of content each day, and always trying to move the movement forward. So, but if you would like some Patreon exclusive content, I am debating on making the Sunday show that we've been doing a Patreon only thing. I'm not going to do it this week because Jeff Young, he wants to give another guitar lesson on Sunday night. For all of you guys who enjoyed Jeff Young's guitar lesson, he wants to do another. And the last, he was trying to raise some funds because he's pretty broke right now. But he screwed up because we promoted his PayPal for the last show, but he had his PayPal address wrong. So anyway, right now he's trying to raise $150. It's how much more money he needs to finish his latest music project. So anyhow, he's going to give another guitar lesson on Sunday night. If you really, a lot of people loved his last lesson. A lot of people's minds were blown because they did not know that about the guitar. And again, Jeff Young is a world-class guitar player. He played in one of the most famous bands there ever was. But he's one of those broke artists at this point in his life. And anyway, he wants to do it again Sunday night, so we will be back with Jeff Young. If you want to give him a tip, again, he's trying to raise $150. And I think he'll achieve that after this week's show. So, and we'll have the right PayPal where people can support him. So, also, other people out there in the world needing help. I've been talking to Denise. I know other people have helped out Denise. Shout out to Rick James. I guess Rick James donated $250 to Denise. But Denise right now is trying to secure the footage from the airport of her arrest because she's saying she was wrongfully arrested. And again, it was just, we weren't there. So to me, it doesn't make sense. Who gets arrested in the airport because supposedly they had too many drinks? I've never heard of such a thing. She said she had 4 glasses of wine. And the reason she had 4 glasses of wine is because her flight got delayed by like 6 hours. So she didn't have anything else to do, and she was feeling nervous about going to meet in the group and taking the edge off, and so she just had some glasses of wine at the bar, and then when she went to the gate to get on the plane, the cops came and arrested her. And again, it does look suspicious. They held her for 25 hours. She was released at the 56th minute of the hour, and then they set her court date for her 56th birthday. So, and again, in light of the way I was messed with, and they were ready for me in Oklahoma City, I mean, that's the sad thing about this surveillance age. If they know that people are, and again, I mean, she's an easy one to have surveillance over. All she posts pretty much on her social media is my work and other people who are doing Gematria work, Chigosi's work, Kayla's work. You know, she's going to a gathering that's about promoting knowledge and trying to wake people up to the agendas. And, you know, she's a single woman traveling alone. And I don't know, you know, it's just, it's weird. And it would be good for the community if everything she's saying is true, that she was arrested for no reason and we could get the footage. I was reading that you have to sue for it, but then a Freedom of Information Act is another way to get it. So she's working on a Freedom of Information Act. She might very well need a lawyer. And again, as a community, I mean, if she was wrongfully arrested and jailed and had a whole day of her life wasted because she was going to attend an event to try and bring justice in the world, I mean, that's a reason that she needs to be stood up for and needs legal representation. And again, that's the thing that's so frustrating, too. That's the thing that's so frustrating. Anytime I start calling for lawyers for any of the things that have happened to me, no lawyer wants to defend you. It's like, oh, sorry, all we really do is divorce. Or it's just like, you got ambulance chasers and divorce lawyers. It seems like that's all that's out here with law degrees, which is disgusting to think about. In a way, it makes me regret that when I was 18 years old, when I started college, I knew exactly what I was going to do. I was going to get my undergrad, and then I was going to go to law school and become a lawyer and essentially use my law degree to defend people who deserve to be defended. Because I knew there's a lot of injustice in the world. And I decided not to do that after 9/11 happened, because I was like, well, wait a minute, man. I mean, the whole system must be bought off, because I don't see any lawyers trying to sue for all the things that need to be sued for with all these lies. But there's a part of me that's like, God, I wish I hadn't changed my mind and just gotten my law degree when I was young and been done with it. Because, I mean, there really is a lot of power to knowing the laws. And now realizing that we live in this world where it's hard, it seems almost impossible to find a lawyer when you need one for something that's worthy. But anyway, it's just like, there's so many things I want to do at once. Finish my book, start a community, get my law degree. It's just like, but that's why you need people. You need community, and you got to work together and help each other and pool resources and make things happen. So, anyhow, I think after this week's Sunday show, I am going to start doing Sunday show on Patreon only. And again, it'll be for everyone who pledges $1 a month. So, if you haven't pledged $1 a month yet, probably wait until May 1st to pledge your $1, because if you pledge $1 today, what it's going to do is it's going to unsubscribe you on May 1st unless you click the button to stay subscribed and just pledge $1 per month. But also, if you pledged $1 today, it would bill you $1 on May 1st as well, because that's what it starts doing once you become a recurring subscriber. It just bills you on the 1st of the month. It'll take your monthly pledge. But, yeah, I'm always amazed at how many people are like, where can I sign up for your Patreon? It's like, it's linked in the description to every video. But it's linked on my website. You know, if you guys ever go to the website, that's what these things are here. But, yeah, anyway, you guys, it's very frustrating times. It's like we're in a vice, and somebody's doing this, making the vice tighter and tighter. And if you have a vice, if you have an object in there, the vice can't close anymore. And that's the thing. We need to become well-structured and organized as a people and stop the vice from closing anymore. And then we need to get so strong that we open the vice back up. But, yeah, it's just, I mean, this world, this path they're taking us down. And then just, Bill Gates, when he explains in his TED Talk about burning setting these massive fires to spent nuclear energy fuel in these things, it's like, I don't know, man. This is the way he's concluding the thing about how we need to reduce population. It's like, maybe they're planning to set up, you know what I mean? It's just like, I don't know. It seems like there's got to be a better way than burning spent nuclear energy fuel in massive pits. It really does. When you listen to him talk, I was like, wait a minute, this sounds like it actually fits in with the first thing he was talking about how we need to reduce population. But, yeah, anyway, it couldn't be any more obvious that this was the plan all along. And again, just 201 just piling up day after day. I need to just put my book out there before I feel like I got 500 more things to add to it. But yeah, here, let's make sure another 201 story didn't break since I started this. New text revealed between Sean Hannity and Trump White House. I'm sure that's important. It was horror. Kyiv apartment complex shredded by shrapnel. Again, that happened while Mr. 201 was in town. the leader of the United Nations. Don't you love the names for these Manchurians? Hope Solo, the One Hope. The One Hope needs the one Hope needs to attend AA. Just signs of the times, right? It's got to be mockery, man. Hope Solo requests postponement of National Soccer Hall of Fame induction because she needs help with her alcoholism. I'm sure How are alcohol stocks doing? They've probably never been higher. Don't forget, Prohibition ended in 33. Alcohol, 33 like sugar. Frisco, Texas. I feel like I just saw that sign when I was driving in the state. Just for kicks, let's see how this goes for Hope Solo. What day's her birthday? July 30th. That is the 211th day of the year. That means today is 100 and wait. No, today's 92 days before her birthday. 92. Well, at least it's not another 201 ritual. But yeah, definitely symbolic. The One Hope needs to enter rehab, so hopefully she doesn't get the Amy Winehouse treatment. Okay. All right, well, I was going to say we'll leave it there, but I got to say thank you to somebody first. Let's send the thank you out. Somebody did a super chat. Sarah Sutherland. Wait a minute. I didn't see that there was that much of a super chat. Oh, she must have just done that. Well, Sarah Sutherland, thank you. Another $20 bill from Sarah Sutherland. She sent a lot of those. You're very generous. I hope you're doing well financially. Make sure you're saving your money. Make sure you got what you need for a rainy day. You're very generous. I appreciate it. She says I have to start building your funds for NYC. We're definitely doing New York City September 11th this year. Sweet lady right now saying she's not coming with me, but I can go. But I would like her to come with. She also got me, sweet lady. She told me that I needed to be back by the weekend following April 19th because it was her graduation. But her graduation was not that weekend. It's not even this weekend. It's next weekend. But she was just trying to create. She didn't want me to be gone for so long. But I'm a little bit annoyed about that because I would have liked to have not had to rush back so fast and do some more. But sweet lady didn't want to be alone. But I am trying to get her to go to New York because I want to spend at least 2 weeks out there. You know, go to all those major cities around there. Do them all. Boston, Philly, D.C., New York. Pounds of payment in all of them. But anyway, thank you, Sarah. I appreciate it. If everyone was as generous as you, man, we'd have funding like these top networks. You must have, just in the last month alone, you must have donated, seems like a couple $100 at least. Thank you. Richard Quinn. Rich, you don't need to make donations, man. I appreciate it, though. Richard Quinn, pound in payment in Oklahoma City without any kidneys. On a dialysis machine, man. Oh, Trooper of the Year award for Richard Quinn. You know, Richard Quinn's a life lesson from me, too. He's proof that people do deserve 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th, and even 15th chances. But yeah, good guy, and definitely was great to see him in Oklahoma City, along with the friends he brought. He says, email me in the description to get your GematriaEffectNews t-shirt. Help be a walking billboard for this channel. You can join our chat to learn how to advertise. So, again, Richard Quinn is saying that to anybody in the room. And the thing is, Rich doesn't really make any money off the t-shirts, but here, let me scroll through my Twitter real quick. A number of people were wearing Richard's t-shirts in Oklahoma City. So if you want to see what they look like, they do look nice. Hold on, I gotta scroll a little bit more. Posted more on Twitter than I remember. Okay, so you can see from your right, you got the gentleman with the goatee above the woman with the plaid shirt and the shirt on. That's the Richard Quinn shirt. GematriaEffectNews, YouTube. And again, it looks nice, and it definitely gets out the message. So, but yeah, 4 people in the photo have the shirt on. Here's a story I haven't told you guys yet. There's one person in this photo. People who were there will likely be able to guess which person it was. But there is one person in that photo who came out to Oklahoma City. I don't think so much for the event, but they wanted to question me on something. And they thought that Rob Skiba was ritually sacrificed for me. And she wanted to, well, I just said she, so that narrows it down. But she wanted to question me eye to eye if Rob Skiba was sacrificed for me, because she was pretty sure that he was. And she might be a flat earther because Rob Skiba's into flat earth. And of course, he had the TFR show before mine. But as I told her, no, that is definitely not the case. And what else is funny is I ended up giving her a ride back to her hotel around like 3 in the morning. And it's like, would you really get in a car with a guy all by yourself? And don't get any ideas that anything was happening. There was nothing happening. It's just we were all gathered, and she was the last one who needed a ride back, and it was 3 in the morning. So I drove her back to her hotel, but I didn't know she was going to question me until I got her back to her hotel. And then before she got out of the car, then she pulled this thing out of her pocket, and she had all these notes written down about Rob Skiba's death in connection to me. And I just said, well, I mean, the decode is really interesting. I said, but I definitely didn't have Rob Skiba sacrificed. And I said, if Rob Skiba was sacrificed for me, I don't know anything about it. It would have to be who's ever running TFR. And I hope to God that's not true. I said, it is interesting, but I said, that's definitely not the type of thing I'm into. But she literally took a bus from a long way away, the East Coast, and she didn't really interact with anybody. She hung around the group, and I thought she was just shy, but then it finally came out that she was there to find out if I was into human ritual sacrifice, which is absolutely not the case. And you know what? The one thing I got to say about her is, there's all these people online who make all these videos, like accusing me of all sorts of crazy stuff. And they're mostly guys, for all the guys who believe all these crazy things and think like I'm some agent and shill, why don't you guys come to the next event and question me in person and see if I pass the sniff test? And I think she realized that, like I was being serious. No, I did not have Rob Skiba sacrifice for me. But yeah, that was the only awkward moment, only weird social interaction I think that happened between anybody out of all the gathering. It was mostly all positive vibes and good conversation, and yeah. So and the good side of that story is I think whoever that lady was, she realized that. Here, I'm seeing if anybody else has the shirt on. But I think, the good thing was she realized that, yeah, I'm not having people sacrificed. So, unfortunately here, Rich's shirt, you can't really see it. It's covered up, and hers is back here, which is harder to see. But in that one photo, you can see it. So, that's the shirt Rich makes. It is very nice. I have one. I've washed it several times. The print hasn't come off at all. So, I mean, it's a high-quality shirt. It looks nice. Just do remember, though, if you have a shirt with a decal, you should fold it inside out before you throw it in the washing machine. That will help the print last a lot longer. But, yeah, so anyway, I think that's all for now. And, oh, hold on. There's one more super chat. Truthseeker22 with the 222 donation. Do I have a Cash App or a PayPal? I do have a Cash App and a PayPal, and it is in the description of each video. And the other place you can find the Cash App and PayPal information is the top. If you ever go to my website, GematriaEffect.news, the top pinned post it has all this information here, and at the bottom of it, just above the picture of the mask that has the cancer warning, it says, to donate to the cause, please use the following methods, and PayPal's there, Cash App's there, Venmo's there, P.O. Box is there. So, yeah. Yeah, those are good ways to donate, because the thing about Cash App, Venmo, P.O. Box, PayPal, as long as you do sending to a friend instead of a business transaction, there's no fee, there's nothing taken out. Whereas the YouTube Super Chats, Google does take out a percentage. So, anyhow. I think, make sure I said thank you to everybody. Yeah, I did say thank you to everybody. So, I'm debating on doing a live stream on Patreon tonight. Maybe I'll save it for tomorrow, for the last day of the month. And but again, I really do think, I really think the thing that we have to do, I know I'm a broken record on this, but I really think that the top priority out of everything, like even more important than decoding and even trying to wake up our fellow man at this point, is those of us who are awake, who see the writing on the wall, we really do need to figure out how to organize and network with the people in our states, our towns, our cities, figure out who our network is there, because in case they do have a shit hits the fan thing coming for us, like in a big way, you're going to want to have, it's safety in numbers. It's good to have a network of people that you can rely on, work with, cooperate with, help protect each other, help look out for each other. And, again, if we can figure out a way to pool resources and secure land and start growing food. Again, these truly could be things that make all the difference in the not-too-distant future. If they have planned food shortages for us, planned power outages, which could come in the dead of winter, we've already seen it, right? You're going to want to have a community and the supplies on hand to weather the storm. And yeah, just like, imagine that all of us, if we didn't have to break up after Oklahoma City, but we just, were able to stay together as a group dedicated to the cause, helping each other out, pushing the message out. Just imagine if you always had a team like this to travel together. You had you had two big old community buses. Be pretty expensive to drive at this day and age, as much as fuel costs are, but just a team of people to network with and make things happen with. And again, it has been my thing for the last 5 years. I know it's hard for people to break out of the cycle they're in. That's kind of how they got us all. We're kind of all like gerbils on a wheel, stuck in the grind, seemingly stuck. None of us are truly stuck, but it can be hard to break free. But I really do think this is what we got to figure out how to do. As a community, as a people, organized network. I've been trying to facilitate it in so many ways, free to find truth, putting the ideas out there. And, yeah, it's just, I've always cared about the community and the people who support, but it's like, after being around the people and just like now having more, the faces and the interactions and, spending a number of days around people, it's just like, you care even more. You feel for these people even more. You don't want to see, like in the same way I don't want to see myself go down, I don't want to see anybody else go down. And not just the people who showed up, but all the people who wanted to be there in spirit. I know there's a lot of us out there that are concerned about the times we're living in, and it's like, we need to seriously figure out a way forward. So I think that's what we're going to do tomorrow on Patreon. We'll have the discussion Sunday's probably really the better day to do it, but I'm going to do it tomorrow just in case people can't sign up for Patreon next month before the month's over. But I think about noon tomorrow, noon Pacific, 3 Eastern, we'll do a live stream, and it'll be about people in the community who are invested and just brainstorming ideas for how to network, how to pool resources. Is there somebody? Do we have lawyers in the community, people that would be helpful in writing trusts, because I think that's ultimately what we'll have to do, is create trusts that are dedicated to a cause, and then that allows people to comfortably invest their resources and not feel like there's a chance of getting fleeced. You know, I did have people come up to me that said, Zach, if you just started a donation to raise $1 million to buy land, I would gladly support that. And I don't want to do it that way, you guys. I want it to be like a thing where not just one person, because I mean, that's the other thing too that could happen, right? I mean, God forbid it doesn't, but imagine that we were going to do this and one person was holding all the funds, and then the government's like, we don't like this idea. And then, you know, next thing you know, that person, you're reading about their obituary, and then it's like, well, what happened to all the funds that were just raised? So there has to be a way to create a way for a pool of funds to be safely raised that are definitely going to be used for the purpose and cause that they're raised for. And again, it would be awesome if we could, like I heard people say, I would like to do it in New Mexico. I'd like to do it in Texas. I'd like to do it in Alabama. I'd like to do it in Hawaii. I'd like to do it in Mexico. What would be nice is if we kept raising resources and got communities established in different places, which allowed people who are closer to that geographic area to be more of a participant. And I think it is better to do more southern territory where it's warmer, because again, growing food's a big thing, and the warmer it is, the closer to the equator you are, the more you can grow year-round. And, you know, where I am right now, Washington State, you can grow here in the summer, but there are winter things you can grow in the winter. But again, I just think it's better to be in a warmer climate. So anyway, tomorrow, Patreon, we'll do that. Noon Pacific, 3 Eastern. We'll have a conversation about creating real community, and we'll see what kind of response we get. And I figure it's better to do it on Patreon because, you know, that's people who are serious about putting resources towards a cause. Thank you to everyone who donates at least $1 a month. I appreciate it. So tomorrow, Saturday, that's April 30th, noon Pacific, 3 Eastern. Patreon discussion. We'll do the Sunday night show this week. And then I think after that, I'm going to move the Sunday night show to Patreon only. And I'm debating, honestly, on this is only going to kill subscribers, but I am debating on not doing sports anymore, because I just feel like it's really, I mean, I know the sports puts money in people's pocket, but there's other people who've learned to do it, and you can support their Patreon. But I really do feel like I just want to put all my time into furthering the knowledge and figuring out a way to create community. I just feel like time is short in terms of how much window's left to make things happen that need to happen. You know, again, if you guys missed the global, whatever they called it, summit last month in Dubai, I mean, they couldn't stop saying New World Order and talking about how close digital currency is and all the abuses it's going to open to the citizenry from Big Brother. And it's just like, God, man, they are really putting this in our face. So... And again, if you guys have not read the books, remember, Zachary K. Hubbard Subscribe Star, search that, and you can download the books for free. So you can also buy them, but I don't mind if you download them for free. I just wish more people had the knowledge. More people have the knowledge. When enough people have the knowledge, that's when the agendas are going to get stopped. That's priority one. It's nice. Again, you know, it's just like, I'm looking at it like, man, if they're going to collapse the dollar and everything, I mean, what's even all the revenue from selling book sales anyway, man? They're just planning to turn it all into ash. The only thing really to do is, you know, stop the agenda. Or get people that come up with a solution to circumvent the agenda. So we don't want to end up as Pfizer guinea pigs and working at the Bill Gates nuclear energy site shoveling in the old spent fuel or whatever they're going to have us do. I mean... Oh, by the way, a call for an uprising. You're always lurking. I remember years ago when they were doing the Taco Bell Illuminati commercials. Taco Bell Illuminati. You remember when that was going on? Jewish Gematria is the most interesting cipher outside of the base ciphers. And notice how Taco Bell, you know, in Jewish Gematria is 201. Again, just like in the most basic cipher, Order of Illuminati's 201. And again, Adam Weishaupt died 201 days after the anniversary of its establishment. On May 1st, since it's the anniversary of the Illuminati's establishment, I'll probably have to... again, it's just like desperate times call for desperate measures. The faceless wonder a call for an uprising. As much as I don't trust the guy and as much as he's shown his cards, he is one of the only people that's remained on YouTube and continued to at least somewhat speak out against the agendas, but he continues to only say Freemasons, and it's like, dude, we gotta educate people more than just Freemasons. They gotta see who runs the Freemasons too, who the Taco Bell Illuminati really is. And I'll pull back I did a lot of work on that Taco Bell Illuminati, but I wasn't onto the 201 thing. That was probably already 4 or 5 years ago when that was going on. And by the way, if you guys are ever looking for my old work, it's on my old website, freetofindtruth.blogspot.com, which I posted on until Amazon started censoring it. Or not Amazon, but Google. 2017. So, yeah, it's been over 4 years. Yeah, I remember the Taco Bell owner. He died by the numbers. Died at age 86. Hey, also remember, next week on TFR, we're going to have on Chris Emery. And, a lot of people are thinking Chris Emery is probably an agent because he's got all the numbers around him and he's Italian-born. Again, it is curious, but, we know that in the media, they do things by the numbers every single day, and the rituals are so obvious. But at the same time, when you're a Chris Emery, who's someone who's also being censored in the world, you might have been born Italian, you might have the numbers connected to you, you might say the number 42 too many times. But ultimately, it's like, rather than overuse the knowledge, like, again, what made me start using Gematria? The suspicion that the media was ritualistic because it seemed like they were encoding numbers in their propaganda. And it turned out that suspicion was correct. And the numbers explain, or understanding the language of Gematria, it shows what the numbers mean. But, a guy like Chris Emery, where, things might seem a little bit curious, ultimately, what's he doing in the world? He's trying to put out films to show government corruption and lying and wrongdoing, and that people were likely killed by the federal government that was blamed on a CIA patsy. And, he's showing up and giving us free tours in Oklahoma City of the town and pointing out things that are still there that you can look at that don't make sense. And, seemingly willing to hang around all day to keep giving people the same information to make sure everyone's got the message. And, I'm getting a lot of feedback, like emails and messages like, I don't trust him, Zach. He's Italian and he works with Alex Jones. And again, it's like, I'm hoping through this, honestly, Chris Emery can finally get Alex Jones to cover the work that I've been putting out. Even though I don't trust Alex Jones at all, I would love to go on his show and help get out the word. There's a lot of people who are looking for the truth who listen to Alex Jones because he's the big name in the game. So, but yeah, it's just, some people take the Gematria stuff and then they try to turn everyone into a part of the Illuminati and a Jesuit, just like they do to me. There's no way Zach could have known all that. It's just like, you're wrong. Again, everything I've ever figured out, you could have figured out yourself, The one luxury I had that most people don't have is the chance to quit my slave job and take the time to work on an independent project and do something different with my life. And again, the one reason I was able to do that is because I was really good at saving money and I worked really hard for a lot of my life. So, I mean, those are also things you technically could have done. It's just most people don't do that. They don't work really hard and save almost all their money. But, that's how I did it. So... But yeah, notice how Glenn William Bell, the founder of Taco Bell, he died at 86. And the most famous symbol in the world, and that Illuminati symbolism is 86. So these are all the things we were talking about years ago. We saw a lot of the Illuminati ritual and what they were doing, but we did not. I was not onto the 201 thing yet, and now that stands out the most. It's like, no wonder they were doing that with Taco Bell. Taco Bell Illuminati. So we'll leave it there for now, Truth Seeker. I'm sure I'll be back. Besides the Patreon video tomorrow, knowing me, I'm sure I'll have something out, for everybody else too. I do hate to do things as Patreon exclusives because really, like, all the work I do, I want everybody to get it. And, for the people who are complaining that I haven't posted much on Patreon this month, again, I know I didn't post a lot on Patreon this month, but didn't I post a lot in the world? Didn't I go out and do try to create a big thing in Oklahoma City? So anyway, thank you to everyone who funds the work. And I see Truth Seeker 22 with another donation, 1122. Okay, getting master numbers here. Perhaps in-person Gematria meetings in each major city once a month or every other. Best to network in person than this digital method. So what you saying that, I love Sweet Lady, but sometimes I wish I was a single guy because honestly, if I was a single guy, it would have happened a long time ago. And but I just realized I need to figure out a way to get Sweet Lady on board with driving a lap around the country. We're going to go city to city because people come out and then people organize and people network and they exchange phone numbers, and that's what needs to happen. If only 5 people come out and they all exchange numbers, that's a success. I mean, I wish more would come out, but if 5 people come out and network and exchange phone numbers, now you have a group of 5 people. They don't feel alone. And they can meet up once a month and pound pavement at a spot in their city and try to get out the word and turn their numbers from 5 to 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and just keep going until it's bigger and bigger. And, yeah, I mean, it's tough, man, because that's what I want to be doing 100%, and it's just, Sweet Lady definitely balances me out. So it's good to have Sweet Lady in my life. Who knows? Without Sweet Lady, I might have burned out. Who knows? But, yeah, that is what we got to do. We got to organize and network people in cities and have like a monthly gathering. Absolutely, 100%. Because as time goes on and those things start to happen, not only do the numbers grow, then people grow more comfortable with each other. Then ideas I'm talking about now, more community. Pooling resources together, establishing community, all of those things become more probable and more realistic. And again, just from seeing what I saw in Oklahoma City, I feel really optimistic about establishing community. And again, for all the people who are skeptics, again, you should have been there because what you would have saw is how a diverse group of people can come together, have chemistry, interact, great conversations, and I mean, there really wasn't any drama except for the one. It wasn't even that big of a drama. It was just she really did come out to the thing because she wanted to question if I sacrificed Rob Skiba, which it's like you don't want to be asked that, especially when it didn't happen. But it's like I understand why people are so paranoid. There's crazy, evil stuff happening in the world. It's hard to know who to trust, but. Trust me, I'm the last person who's going to be sacrificing anybody. and again, I think it dawned on her when she was like, yeah, why would I be in the car with you if I thought you were really killed people? So, when I go to New York, I will stop in the cities along the way. And, yeah, I'm going to try to sell Sweet Lady on the idea of making the circle and hitting a bunch of cities. She's really not going to want me to be gone for like a month. That's what it's going to take to do that, but that's why I got to get her to come with me. So, Angel Z is putting a gift in the mail for Sweet Lady. If you guys want to send Sweet Lady a gift, that could help warm her up to the idea. You know what, you guys, actually, that could really help me out. That actually might butter up Sweet Lady and get her more on board with the idea of me being gone for a while and doing a lap around the U.S., because it really does need to happen. Just for the sake that, I can bring out a decent sized group of people when I go to a city, and it allows people to organize a network. And realize it's expensive right now to drive and stay in hotels. I mean, so. But seriously, if you guys would do that, if you guys would start sending letters to Sweet Lady to my P.O. box, a card in the mail, I'm trying to think. You don't necessarily have to send her a gift, but just like a short card in the mail, a short letter that you really appreciate that, she lets me go out, and you're so grateful that, she allowed me to go out to Oklahoma City. If she gets overwhelmed with letters of people thanking and just saying, we'd really appreciate this. This could actually be a big help to me, you guys. So if you want to send Sweet Lady a letter, this strategy could work. Sweet, just like all women love to get gifts. Women love to get, nice compliments, nice feedback. Anyhow, if you want to send Sweet Lady, her name is May, like the month. M-A-Y. That's her American name. Her birth name is Doibu. D-O-I space B-U, capitalize the B. It's not her full name, it's her first name. Her first name has a space in it. Americans can't get it right, but it's Doibu. D-O-I space B-U. A lot easier than that, though, is just May, like the month. M-A-Y. And, but Angel Z said she's going to send her a gift because she appreciates that, she supported me going to Oklahoma City. And I'm glad to hear that a number of the women have connected and are networking and keeping in touch. And a number of the women are already planning to travel to New York together this year, which is very cool. Women are definitely better at networking than men are. Women are a lot bit more cooperative than men are. But we can learn from the sweet ladies in our community. But anyway, if you guys do want to send Sweet Lady May a letter, this could be a working strategy. Somebody wants to nicely word how important it would be for Zach to make a lap around the U.S. and help people organize a network. She does understand that the time is really bad and bad things are on the horizon. She doesn't think yours truly. She sees that not enough people are about making a positive change in the world, and she's like. Yeah, so anyway, she has her doubts, and she also has her concerns that something crazy could happen out there. But crazy things are going to happen if we don't get organized and network and make positive things happen too. So she gets that. It's just I think her doubts outweigh her hopes. So maybe if she gets some nice feedback, her hopes will be increased. So anyway, seriously, if you want to send her a letter, I think it could be very helpful. A letter, a stamp, a card. You can probably get all that done for under $2. And if I'm bringing her all sorts of mail, she will be... I have a feeling she would like it. So anyway, it's a thought. Thank you to anyone who does it. Hardly anyone writes me a letter, so we'll see what happens. But I got to get creative here. I got to figure out a way to inspire Sweet Lady to get behind the plan, so... Again, thank you to everyone for your generosity. I do appreciate it. And Truth Seeker 22 with another donation, huh? He says, I meant localized like in every city each month. Well, I think I understood what you mean, and I'm just saying how it could happen. I'm saying, again, Free to Find Truth is there for people to organize in their cities, but I'm just saying if I did a lap around the country... It would allow people to come out on those dates and meet and organize, and then meet people who are actually in the community who care about the information, the knowledge, who are on a similar page. And again, that would help establish something in that city. And that could also be part of the plan. As you know, while we're there gathering and organizing and networking and trying to get out the word, just say, hey, that could be what the whole tour is about, right? Come out if you really want to get organized and network with people. And let's set up, not that I could be at every monthly meeting date for every city in the nation, but maybe ultimately what we do is we create like a day of the month, like, the fourth Sunday of every month or something like that. For some reason, I'm getting a cramp in my foot right now. Why am I getting a cramp? Hold on. Getting old sucks. Anyway, I don't know why I have a cramp in my foot all of a sudden. It's annoying. But maybe that's what we end up doing, The fourth Sunday of every month is like a the monthly meeting date where people go out and network, and maybe we create a new website, and maybe we post the fruits of those meetings, like from city to city, to see what this city came up with, what this city went out and did on that month to get out the word, how this group has come together and pooled resources and now got this plot of land, and just kind of each city's learning from each other, feeding off each other, being inspired by each other. Something like that. Or maybe I can get my web developer to, if we get to that phase of the game, upgrade the website, and somehow Free to Find Truth also has like it does have a community page, but I just envision it being something, I don't know, a little bit better. So I totally hear what you're saying. I'm just saying, how can I help facilitate creating a monthly meeting in so many different communities? So... Payday Nolan, thank you. And again, just these small little super chats, you guys. To me, they're monumental, because, like I've said for all these years, if again, it's just amazing to me that my message hasn't resonated with more people. But if more people would just pledge $1 a month, I mean. Again, 1 million people pledging $1 is $1 million pooled every month. And imagine that. $1 million in Mexico, you can buy hundreds of acres. $1 million in Alabama, you can buy probably hundreds of acres again. And ultimately, honestly, I was just thinking about how it could look if you got a plot of land and you were growing food. I forget what they call them, but they run about you can probably get them for even less than $10,000 each. But there's these sustainable, development, essentially like housing shelters that run 10,000 or less. You can put them on plots of land. But if you raised $1 million for, let's just say you're going to put it towards creating a community in Alabama, you wouldn't have to spend the whole $1 million on the land. You could get a lot of land for, let's even say you spent $500,000. You could get a lot of land in Alabama for $500,000. You could grow a lot of food. You could have a lot of people live on that land, way more than 100 people. And so let's just say you had 100 people pitch in $10,000, right? So you raise $1 million. There's going to be 100 people that are going to use this land. What you'd want to create and make sure you had on that land was like a primary building, right? That would be like the showering, maybe community center building. It's got showers there. It's got, running water. It's got sewage. It might be hooked up to septic. But you got this building, and honestly, I think another smart thing would be to invest in some solar, so you got a renewable energy source. But you got essentially a place for hygiene, right? Because we're a city, we're a people that's used to hygiene. We're not going to, most of us aren't going to go back to like our ancestors that live in the woods and dig holes. Most people aren't going to be up for that. But if you have a building, it's the sanitation, it's the shower building. You also have a community center meeting space for, getting together and, having meetings, playing games together, this type of thing. But then the rest of the land is mostly agricultural. And then also you make the investment in, I think you can probably get those sustainable hut things that I'm talking about. If you know what, I forget what the word is for them, but I think you can actually get them for a lot less than $10,000. And if you bought a bulk purchase, you could probably, get the cost down. But you might have to raise a little bit more than $1 million. But again, for 100 people to raise $1 million, I imagine most people in this world probably, if they sold all their assets, they could pony up at least $10,000, right? Probably a lot of people could pony up a lot more than that. And for people who could pony up a lot more than that, and all they really want at this day and age is community, they could also help fund the way for other people. Like one of the women who came to the thing, she got teary-eyed and said she wants to participate in this, but she's dead broke and she's in debt and she doesn't have anything. And I said to her, well, if we can make this project happen, we'll definitely find a place for you and your children in it. There are probably people out there that have millions of dollars right now and don't exactly know what to do, but they don't want to give up all their money because, it's hard to know who to trust. But anyway, where there's a will, there's a way. And the point is, if we start getting organized and network and looking into these things, we can come up with the budget and what the cost would be. And figure out a way to effectively do this. Like, just to make a point, let's say you bought 100 acres in Alabama. You could probably buy 100 acres in Alabama for, well, I'll start looking at this more, but you could probably get plenty of land to house 100 people and grow enough food for a couple $100,000. So if you had $800,000 left over, you could put that towards your facilities, getting a building built where people can shower and, again, gather occasionally, and probably like a cafeteria. That's probably something you definitely want in that building, right? A place to make the food. Kind of run it like the way you run a larger public building. You're getting all your food there, but then you also have this building where, you prepare the food, you have meals together, showers, you could have your privacy stalls, of course, and everything, men and women, you could absolutely do all that. But I'm just envisioning something like that. You got your community building, you got a lot of agriculture, and then you have modest housing, just simple housing, inexpensive, it's not flashy, but it works. And, so I don't know. Some people think that if to you that's like, oh, I would never want to do that. I mean, then it's not for you. But to me, honestly, I'm just thinking, I want community, and I want a place where I don't have to submit to the slave grind and the jab and all that. And I think a lot of people want the same thing. I think ultimately, anytime I've been happiest in my life, I think all my best memories, it's back when the family used to gather and people got along and they told jokes and they had meals together. I just thought, man, I wish every day was like this. And like for most people, it was just, we do that on Thanksgiving, Christmas. That only lasted for so long with my family because, like so many people, they couldn't get along with each other. But I think people all driven towards a common purpose on a similar page. I think it'll work. Again, I think we saw the flash of it in Oklahoma City, how a community could come together and benefit from one another. So I'm gonna keep pitching the idea, and hopefully before long, there's some progress towards it. So. And I think before tomorrow, I think I'm actually going to do some serious... I think between now and tomorrow's live stream on Patreon, I'm going to do some serious research on where, good agricultural land can be acquired and at what price, and just kind of start forming an idea for what it would take to make something like this happen. Building materials and all that are a little bit more expensive right now, but... And again, that's the point, yeah, right, the Matrix always makes, is down in Mexico, there's a lot of abandoned resorts that can be bought up for really cheap, so you already kind of have the facilities that you need. But yeah, just the one thing about Mexico is, it's like, man, I don't like that you can't own guns there. I don't like that. So, wouldn't be such a big deal if other people there didn't have guns, but it's the one drawback, so... Anyway, we'll leave it there for now. And again, tomorrow on Patreon, noon Pacific, 3 Eastern. Everyone who's pledged $1 or more will be invited to the stream. Again, Sunday night show upcoming. Next week on TFR with Chris Emery. And plus everything else that I'll be caught up in between, like the normal grind. And then before long, I will say, okay, I'm finally done with the book. And remember also, September 11th, 2022, New York. If you want to be there, start planning, start saving. Again, we got to create some big sparks to make a change, you guys. It's not going to happen without effort. And by the way, it sounds like what the plan for New York's going to be is, if somebody wants to start researching it right now, is getting a hotel in Jersey City, New Jersey, because it's inexpensive. And they have a train there that goes directly to the World Trade Center site that's about 20 minutes. That's $2 each way. So New York is a pretty expensive place from what I understand. I haven't been there myself, but yeah, just to make it more affordable. Jersey City is affordable. Traveling together on the subway might make people feel a lot more comfortable. And it would be nice to just move as a big team too. That'll catch people's eyes all over the place. If everybody's going around in one of those Richard Quinn t-shirts, you know. And you guys, again, you know, Richard Quinn, I mean, his t-shirt is nice. So if you want to promote the work, you know, I fully endorse the Richard Quinn t-shirt. Again, he's not in it for the money. He's in it for the message. So, just one more time, show the Richard Quinn t-shirt. He put up a super chat earlier. Again, you can find Richard Quinn. He's on Facebook. He just launched a YouTube channel. And he's got his Daily Dose of Gematria page as well on Facebook. But yeah, the people on the right side of the photo with the black shirt with the red and yellow print that says GematriaEffectNews. If there were a bunch of people in New York with that t-shirt on, that would definitely help get out the word. So, appreciate it, everyone. Have a great rest of your day. If I don't talk to you again this weekend, have a good weekend. But I will be around. Maybe you'll be busy. So, we'll leave it there for now. And, yeah, until next time, Truth Seeker. Hold on. I was about to say goodbye, but then somebody did another super chat. Thank you, C. I will keep up the good work. I appreciate it. Thank you for your generosity. All right.